Clicked.
Ahoy, divers, and welcome back to Deep Dive Gaming. I am the Mariner from Deep Dive Gaming. That was redundant. Here with Hiro for another stream of consciousness. Ahoy, Twitch, ahoy, Rumble, ahoy, Legged Legion, ahoy, Mojo, and ahoy, Silly Imp.
Hello, Imp.
And if I missed it, ahoy, Rumble.
Legion.
If I missed it, ahoy, Rumble.
Ahoy,
Hiro.
Rumble.
Okay.
Ahoy, Mojo, and ahoy, Mariner Kitty.
Yes, Mariner Kitty is present, as always. So we are here today to discuss Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. And it's customary on our channel while we discuss the game, we will have gameplay queued up and stream and playing while we do so.
Yes.
And Mojo reports that sounds are working on both ends. Sweet. We got it on the first try.
Yeah, I made a point of unmuting myself as soon as I switched windows.
So, we are, like I said, going to be talking about Zelda Skyward Sword and reading from a Wikipedia fandom page, or no, a fandom page, which somehow I lost the window for that on my side. I can bring it back up pretty quick.
Yeah, I'll be switching back to the window, back and forth to the between the window and your gameplay that you pulled up here. Right now, though, I'm trying to.
So I guess I will start while you're doing that. So, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword is technically the 16th main installment of the Legend of Zelda series. However, it's the first one chronologically according to Nintendo's own timeline for the story of Link and Zelda. It's the first Legend of Zelda game created specifically for the Wii. It requires Wii Motion Plus, except for the remake or re-release or the whichever they're putting out on the Nintendo Switch 2. I don't know how they're doing that one. Further discussion to come. Upon its North American release, a special edition Skyward Sword bundle became available. The bundle includes a copy of Skyward Sword as well as Gold Wii Remote Plus, whatever that is. Additionally, a limited edition Ah. Additionally, a limited edition CD featuring music from Legend of Zelda 25th Anniversary Symphony concerts is also packaged alongside all early purchases of the standard and special edition copies of Skyward Sword. High definition, I can't say that word, remaster of the game Skyward Sword HD was confirmed to be part of this February 17, 2021 Nintendo Direct. It was released on July 16, 2021. And ahoy gazoo!
That's right. That's right. To confirm that, or at least to clarify the semi question you had at the beginning of your read there, they already re-released an HD version of Skyward Sword on Switch 1. More than likely,
Actually, I think I picked that up on. I think I actually picked that up now that I'm thinking about it.
Yes, you did. I remember talking to you about it.
Still haven't played it, but I own it.
Yeah, it's a very, very fun game. Especially considering when they remastered it, they did not require motion controls. Although, they made motion controls optional, and that was like the biggest complaint that most people had with this particular game.
I've also sped up the playback to 1.25 just so that there's more gameplay we can fit in during the stream, and nothing happening on the screen because there's a title sequence or dialogue sequence there that was taking a while. So.
Oh yeah, well, I mean that's kind of standard when it comes to the Zelda games. They give you a cap or a recap, I should say, of oops, wrong button. They give you a recap of stories, or they go over the legend. What that opening sequence where it showed the ground splitting open and the big giant monster shooting out of the ground. That is what the manga that we talked about last week is based off. That whole opening sequence there.
Yeah, and just so you're aware, in case you don't see it, we are actually watching the Nintendo Switch HD remaster game footage. I don't know if there's too much difference between this and the original. If anyone wants me to, I can see if I can go find original. Please let us know in the chat.
Fine, because in truth, honestly, in truth, the graphics fidelity between the two isn't terribly different between the Wii and the Switch, because when you how should I say this? Most people will be like, oh, the Switch doesn't, Nintendo never does anything graphically awesome, blah 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 blah. Nah, be quiet. They stick to their animation style. So this animation style doesn't lend to high end crazy graphics. You're not going to see anything done in this animation style with
ahoy French fried toast. Welcome in.
Hey, but you're never going to see a Nintendo game with this animation style in ray tracing, for example.
So do you want to go into either some of the story or some of the production lore for this?
I can absolutely.
There's a ton of story in this wiki. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
What?
There it is.
Okay. Somehow he's even better.
I was trying to figure out where my screen went and realize...
Somehow you're even better now than you were before, too. And the Hoy Foxy Coyote.
Hello, Foxy. All right, so as I kind of alluded to earlier, the prologue to the story that we saw before you saw Link running around in the game here is that you see cutscenes, or you see the cutscenes that illuminate the ancient history of the world that this, or well, I should say, of the world that this game takes place in. And in this part, we actually have to say the time, because few hundred or thousand or whatever years previously, you see a vision, effectively a nightmare that Link has, where the ground splits open and this giant monster shoots out of the ground. And, excuse me, that is a depiction of an ancient evil that came out of the earth and ran amok, destroying all of humanity and wreaking havoc upon the planet. And they were seeking out what is known as the Triforce, which is pretty important to Zelda lore. And to backtrack a little bit, we got some chat going on.
Non-Zelda related.
Yes.
Because he's talking about the shoe bill, which apparently was the inspiration for the bird at the beginning of the film or the game.
Well, yeah, that could be, honestly. Don't know. All birds are dinos. And Gazoo says that one will freak you out, same as what the game showed. And that's a beast. Well, it depends. If you go to look up a harpy, you might be threatened with something that you don't want. So I'd be careful what you Google there.
Yeah.
Might see something a little bit more
Put
disturbing.
put the words Baldur's Gate or Dungeons and Dragons in front of the word harpy when you Google it.
But more specifically, look up harpy bird. Yes, that would be a good idea, because otherwise you're going to find something from communities you don't want to see.
Yeah.
Anyways, so in this case and context, the bird you see is known, that you saw in the game introduction, is known as a skywing, if I remember correctly. Oh, loftwing, I'm sorry. A loftwing. And they're mythical / legendary spirit birds that are closely related to the goddesses of Hyrule. The Triforce, if you played Ocarina of Time, you would find out is a legendary relic in the world of Hyrule that was created when the three golden goddesses created Hyrule, and then before they left after creating Hyrule, they met in one centralized point and then departed the mortal realms. And when they met, they created this thing called the Triforce, which is said to be able to grant any singular wish of any mortal. Now let's see. Oh, Jesus. Mojo. I'm not going to read that out loud. Of course, Kazoo goes, feathers. So, that being said, in the beginning of Skyward Sword, what you see is a great evil coming out of the earth, and its goal is to find the Triforce so that the leader of this great evil can make their wish and get their heart's desire, which I'm sure is something great, evil, world domination, traditional
evil stuff.
Yeah, evil being evil just to evil.
Evil.
Just pick up with the prologue. Long before the events of Skyward Sword, the earth cracked and evil forces rushed out of the fissure. These forces attacked the people of Earth, slaughtering them and destroying their land. They did this in search of the Triforce, an ultimate power capable of granting any wish of its holder. This power is passed down by the Golden Goddesses and was guarded by the goddess Hylia. So there is a order to the deities of Hyrule. You have the three Golden Goddesses, which were Hyrule's creators, and then later on, the goddess Hylia, which had the power of the Triforce passed to her. The goddess Hylia gathered the Triforce and the remaining survivors onto a piece of the earth and sent it skyward beyond the clouds. This piece of land became known as Skyloft. With the humans safe, the goddess Hylia joined the land dwellers and fought the evil forces in a war of unmatched scale and ferocity. She eventually sealed the evil forces away, restoring the peace to the surface. However, the humans remained in Skyloft, as the goddess Hylia knew that the seal on the evil would not hold out forever. The goddess Hylia knew that she would be powerless to stop the forces for a second time, so she required the use of the Triforce to defeat them again. However, she cannot use the Triforce because she is an immortal goddess. So in order to use it, she gave up her immortality and was reincarnated as a mortal Hylian. The manga had some contradictory points to it. The manga pointed out that, or the manga actually stated that she had a great love for her chosen hero, and her decision to become mortal hinged more upon her love for the hero than it did, than it had anything to do with the Triforce. In fact, the Triforce wasn't even mentioned in the manga, so that could be a reason why people say that it's not an actual canon story. But then again, we all know people that write novelizations, draw depictions of stories, or decide to take stories to the big screen. They all take creative liberties. Any commentary on that to this point, Mariner?
No. Although I was trying to think of a good hero joke, considering how many times you said hero, but weren't referring to yourself.
I'm not that vain, sir.
Yep. H-E-R-R-O-O. H-E-R-O. There we go.
Huh.
So, yes. So, we're probably not going to go into the full story, simply because there's so much of it here.
There's a whole lot in the story.
Yeah, but that sets the scene for us.
Yeah, it sets the opening scene. I could give the generic theme, I could give the generic goal of the story. It starts out with the wing ceremony, which has to do with coming of age and graduation from the Sword Academy located on Skyloft. Link decides to go to the Sword Academy or whatever it's called, so he could become a soldier or whatever to be able to defend Skyloft if the need ever arose. So he actually, in this introductory story, is the only person to graduate in this year from the academy because he is so good at swordplay.
So good. So good.
Yeah. Yeah, right. You actually have to demonstrate your swordsmanship to advance the plot. Then there's a ceremony. Something goes down. You have to find your loft wing, which is the crimson red one that you see in the beginning of the game. And then you advance to the ceremony where Zelda actually administrates the ceremony, presents Link with this thing called the sailcloth, which is basically a parachute, but you use it to float around in the sky. A bunch of complex gameplay stuff that you actually get the hang of while playing the introduction.
We'll get into some of the game mechanics here shortly.
Yeah. Then she, being a butthead, decides to push Link off the statue, which causes him to fall into the Cloud Sea, or towards the Cloud Sea, and he uses the sailcloth to navigate back to Skyloft before he misses it. And then after she, says, "Oh, I was just playing a prank," yada yada yada, the two decide to ride their loft wings in celebration around Skyloft. Well, during this celebration lap around Skyloft, what ends up happening is a evil black tornado in the skies comes through and sweeps Zelda and her
It's a twister.
Yep.
Oh, there goes the push.
Yeah. Sweeps Zelda and her loft wing away. Yeah, now you're seeing it. Let me switch over to that. So Zelda just pushed Link. And this is demonstration of the loft wing.
Okay.
She saves him. So what actually was supposed to happen was he was supposed to use the sailcloth, which I guess he didn't do. I thought he did. Anyways, you discover your loft wing was missing, didn't respond. So this is another one of the introduction quests. You had to run around Skyloft and find your loft wing. Come to find out, some bullies captured your loft wing and locked it up so that you couldn't do the ceremony. But anyways, we will backtrack to where I was. Zelda gets swept away in this shadowy tornado twister thing, and she gets flung down to the surface world under the cloud sea. And the premise of the game from this point forward is to find Zelda, figure out what happened, and along the way, you end up unlocking the original Master Sword, which in this game is called the Goddess Sword. Excuse me. And in addition to that, you also unlock Zelda's memories, past life memories, and she suddenly remembers that she is the reincarnation of the goddess Hylia. So that is all stuff that pops up in the game, in the gameplay. That's honestly enough of the plot enough knowledge of the plot for us to continue. So I say I defer to you, sir.
All right. So behind the scenes, we have a discussion about the controls. At the E3 2010, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword was revealed during the Nintendo press conference, introduced by Reggie Fils-Aimé and Shigeru Miyamoto. Miyamoto discussed that the use of the sword and shield would incorporate the motion capabilities of the Wii Motion Plus and use of the nunchuck accessory. The sword could also be charged up by holding the Wii remote straight up in the air, and once it's charged up, the remote must be swung downwards to release the beam as a projectile attack. Ooh, I wonder how that translates into the game. Now into the remaster.
It actually translates very well. If you remember some of the previous Zelda games, where if you have all of your hearts and you swing your sword, magic beam.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the same thing. It is the same thing. The difference is the concept is that the pointing your sword to the sky will charge it up with goddess energy, and you swing it down to launch that beam.
Do you have to say different? Do you have to say thunder, thunder, thundercats ho?
No.
Okay. That's how I would totally do that if I were playing this game.
I think I might have done that once or twice myself.
Since the Wii Remote serves as a sword, the nunchuck becomes the shield. Quickly shaking the nunchuck will cause Link to raise the shield. The nunchuck should be held up in front as if it were a real shield. Miyamoto demonstrated this by blocking attacks from Octoroks, even using the shield to send a projectile back at the enemy. Weapons such as bombs, the slingshot, and the bow, the return of sword beams, and new items such as the beetle and whip were all showcased, all using the same natural aiming and directional applications of the Wii Motion Plus. I feel like I've lost out on something now. Anyways, where's my mouse pointer? I need to scroll.
Like I said, there were a lot of people that did not like the motion controls. I didn't have a problem with them personally, but when this game came out, I thought this whole thing was so very revolutionary.
The inventory is accessed by pressing a button, which then brings up a radio menu on the screen, similar to the one in Twilight Princess. To use the item that Link will equip, the Wii Remote must simply be either pointed or tilted in the direction of the desired item to select said item. The HUD can also be easily turned off if players find that it takes up too much space. One of the major changes in choosing items from the item screen or while drinking potions is that there is no pause in the actions. The items are chosen in real time. Woof. I would not have liked that one. Previous rumors of a flying element were pushed further in an interview with Eiji Aonuma and Shigeru Miyamoto preceding the Nintendo E3 press conference on the Nintendo E3 network, and Aonuma saying that the sky plays a key element. He also mentioned that the new Zelda isn't as big as Twilight Princess as far as physical places go, but rather more dense and in depth. Aonuma also mentioned that Wii Motion Plus was not originally intended for use with Skyward Sword because the controls weren't working well, but when Wii Sports Resort came out, it worked perfectly for that game, so they re-implemented it. Miyamoto has furthermore stated that the Wii Motion Plus will not be used for every item in the game, saying that item and weapon controls will be carefully weighed to see how Motion Plus sensor bar can make for the optimal control scheme. This is the first and currently only Zelda adventure where it's indicated by a damage meter that Link's shield is taking damage under enemy attacks. Because of this, Link has to use more strategic ways of defending against enemies, and if the shield gets damaged in battle, he will have to buy a new one or get it mended. I did play the bowling game on Wii Mojo. I did enjoy that one.
Let's see.
Gazoo wants to know what device this was played on. Oh, you answered it in the chat. Okay.
I answered him in the chat.
Okie dokie. All right. Moving on to Overworld and Dungeons. Skyward Sword features a new map that is a lot easier to follow than previous attempts. According to Aonuma and Miyamoto, this should cut down on the amount of time you spend lost. Moreover, since some previous Zelda games had been focusing on things like story and dungeons, this title focuses more on fun. In September 2010 issue, in the September 2010 issue of Nintendo Power, Eiji Aonuma once again spoke of trying to alter the traditional flow, quotes, of Zelda games. He mentioned that the development team tried to take some elements of a dungeon and actually move it out of those small connected rooms into an area that is usually considered a field, with there not always being a boss at the end of the area. Oh, that's interesting. Flying, aha. As revealed during the E3, if you want.
Before we go on, I'm sorry,
Okay.
I don't mean to cut you off. But some of this stuff, some of this commentary, I feel the need to chime in on, like comments on the item wheel. Honestly, the real-time use item wheel, all that stuff, because of the way the Zelda games play in general, it's not as stressful as one would think, because traditionally in almost every application of a Zelda game, you generally have 3 alternate items that you could call on If you remember Ocarina of Time, you had your C buttons that would have an assignment of whatever item that you would have. Traditionally, in most games, or in most of the Zelda games, you would have 3 alternate items that you could pick from. In this case, it stays the same. The only thing that changes when you use the item wheel is that you're switching out what you're switching out which of the 3 items you're going to be using. So it doesn't actually interrupt gameplay nearly hard actually at all, unless you realize, oh crap, I forgot my slingshot isn't equipped while you're in the middle of trying to use it in a fight. You know. So it's not nearly as much of a problem as people think, or as one would think. I think in order for you to understand that, you probably are gonna have to play it when you get to it. But to move on, they did talk about shield durability. I think, yeah, this is the first Zelda game that introduced durability of an item, and this was also the first game that introduced perfect timing in relation to item durability. In every game that has item durability of Zelda, if you perfectly time your shield bash to counter an enemy or to reflect a projectile, it will not cause item durability damage. So the whole system actually emphasized your getting good at your timing.
Get good. Get gooder.
Yeah, Mojo, I agree. Like, when item durability first became a thing in this game, it upset me greatly because I went through a lot of trouble to get the Hylian shield. It took so many tries and so much work to unlock it in this game. And when I saw that there was durability after I got the shield, you know what? Now I don't want to use this shield. But yeah.
Shall I continue?
I'll let you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you continue. I think I've droned on enough.
Flying mechanic, as revealed during E3 2011 Skyward Sword, includes flights. Link can go to different regions in Skyloft by riding a Loftwing, but only once he completes his flying training at the beginning of the game. Anyone watch How to Train Your Dragon? In this minigame, which is used to teach the young hero how to fly properly, Link must catch a specific bird that is carrying a bird statue to prove his worth as a Knight of Skyloft and a Loftwing rider. While flying, Link can jump off the Loftwing he's riding at any time to drop onto the smaller islands scattered throughout the sky, allowing him to explore each individual island as in The Wind Waker. At any point, Link can drop below the clouds to find bird-like save statues found around Hyrule that will allow him to return to the clouds and be back to the central town of Skyloft. Controlling the Loftwing is done similarly to controlling planes in the Wii Sports Resort Air Sports games, as the gliding is achieved through the Wii Remote. Pressing A allows Link to go faster, B button slows the Loftwing down, and flicking the controller vertically will make the Loftwing flap its wings. So, yeah, your turn.
All right. Let's see. Early development. I'll go ahead and switch back to this. When Eiji Aonuma was asked in 2007 interview if Twilight Princess would be the Wii's only Zelda title, he replied, "I can't say, but I guess for now, maybe. And then he left. Not to say that it's going to be the final game. There's still a lot of potential with the Wii, so there's a possibility that they're for it. We do have some ideas, but I can't say for sure because none of them have been approved, and we're still very much in the planning process. So I hope you look forward to whatever's coming out. So, in other words, he was being very tongue in cheek, and anytime one of these interviews happen, nobody's going to give a straight answer. I have a lot of love for those guys, for Eiji Aonuma and Shigeru and all the people that the Zelda games. If honestly, if they were the only remaining people in charge at Nintendo, I would not be mad. Oh, I wouldn't consider Eiji Aonuma a PR person. He's definitely one of the lead planners and
I would
lead
say they have a PR
game.
person telling them what they can and can't say, though.
Yeah, that's 99% of the time what happens. But yeah, if Eiji Aonuma and his two or three compadres that have been making Zelda games for the last like 15, 20 years, if they were the last people at Nintendo, I would not be mad. I think Nintendo might actually run right. Let's see. In a private meeting in 2007, Eiji Aonuma began to give details about the then soon to be released Zelda title Phantom Hourglass. I played that one. It was a really good game. Mojo says, right? He then began speaking about Skyward Sword. In his excitement, he began to reveal more game, but was withheld from divulging much more information by Shigeru Miyamoto. Shigeru is probably the more grounded slash level-headed of the two of them. I swear to God, those two are probably they probably see each other as brothers at this point. Because they definitely play off of each other well. In every interview I've seen, 99% of them have been subtitled because they're almost all in Japanese. But I would say that Shigeru Miyamoto is probably the more level-headed slash grounded of the two of them, while I feel like Eiji Aonuma is more excitable, if you will. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think you get my point. You're probably right, Mojo. They've been working together for forever. Anyways, Miyamoto actually held Aonuma back from revealing too much information. He indicated that he would like to have a whole new control system for the game, and that it was possible that one-to-one swordplay could be implemented. He also said that he would like to make the game to appeal both to the casual and hardcore gamer. And Miyamoto also seconded that in a later interview, which that was the tease for the motion controls. By the way, for your information, Mariner, there is an option to implement the motion controls from the original Wii on the Switch release, the Switch version.
Oh yeah, because that the whatever they're called are supposed to have motion sensors too, aren't they?
Yep. The Joy-Cons have motion sensors built in. It might operate a little bit differently because those motion are a bit different.
Your audio's a little in and out on my side. I'm not sure if there's anything we can do about it.
I don't think there's anything I can do about it. I'm getting very close to redlining.
Okay.
But
you're just dropping some words. Kind of like drop frames, but dropping words. I don't know.
In the Switch, I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't have to use those weird little sidebar things to slot onto the Joy-Cons. I never use them. I don't even know if
Yeah.
I know where any of them are.
Yeah. I know what you refer to, and I think those are just like to facilitate maybe smaller or less dexterous hands, because all they do is
It's
give you more area to push the buttons. The buttons are still
yeah.
pushed on the control on the Joy-Con itself. It's just the button is there to give greater access to them.
Actually, that in truth, it was designed for when you use a single Joy-Con as the whole controller for
Oh
certain
yeah, that
games when
too.
you're
Yeah,
doing
yeah, yeah.
multiplayer, and it gives you access to the shoulder, better access to the shoulder buttons, which are there
That's what I was
on the
talking about.
inside
Yeah,
of the
my brain
on the
just did
inside of
not
that socket.
elaborate.
But that's completely optional.
Yeah.
And I've never used it, even when I was using my controller like that. So fun times.
Yeah.
Let's see. It was stated by Shigeru Miyamoto that Twilight Princess is, without a doubt, the last Zelda game as you know it in its present form. However, the meaning of this quote leaves quite a bit to interpretation in that some vein, Eiji
Same vein.
Aonuma, quite a bit open to interpretation, period. In that same vein, Eiji Aonuma more recently revealed that he is looking to alter the traditional flow of Zelda games, which usually consists of exploring a field, entering a dungeon, conquering the dungeon, and then returning to the field.
Personally, I like that format. Makes the Zelda
Yeah, I
games
rather
easier
like
to.
that.
It made the Zelda games easier to understand, like from one to the
And
next on the Game Boy, at least.
in truth, they never really left that style. Um, Even with Skyward Sword, they tried to divest completely of the field concept by turning it into sky. you're still you're still exploring the skies, finding different floating islands, and then the only time you go down to the surface world was to go to a field slash forested area to go to the dungeon. So you never really left that concept behind, guys. Furthermore, even with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, you still have the Hyrule field. You still are going and finding the different dungeons. And you're still conquering the dungeons to return to the field after the fact. The only difference is in Breath of the Wild, the dungeons were optional. The
I'm
whole point of those dungeons was completely optional.
gotcha. I'm reminded of a song. I believe I can fly. I can
Oh
believe.
jeez.
I believe I can touch the sky. Word sword. Optional
Forgot.
dungeons. That's a real thing.
Yeah, that's a real
Not
thing.
not
Actually,
not for loot goblins like Mojo.
actually, in Breath of the Wild, if you are Dark Souls enough, you can actually leave the starting zone and go straight to the final boss. And then you can fight the final boss effectively naked.
Right.
I
So
will use
let's.
the encumbered slog across the Commonwealth if needed.
It's, so let's finish the
uh,
early development section, and then
sure.
probably, and then we'll save the next bits for next week, I guess, because we still got
Uh,
like reception and sales and things like that to cover.
okay. If you think we have enough content to go to bleed this over to the next week, I don't have a problem with that.
It'll be close. We can give it a try.
Okay. And if nothing else, I can always jump to the next game in the next timeline. As we stated last week during the about the Skyward Sword manga, this particular game is canonically the very first producing the Gandalf. What?
I thought that was Galadriel's job, silly imp. FYI, it takes 3 real-time hours to go from West Everett Estates to Sanctuary Hills. Wow. That's someone who's speaking from experience.
Yeah, don't say. I'm not getting rid of any of this loot. Step. Step. Step.
Attacked by attacked by too many games in my head now. I'm not in the Fallout mode.
I almost said attacked
ghouls.
by Murlocs, and I was like, wait,
Yeah.
wrong game.
No, ghouls. Yeah, attacked by ghouls along the way, so you have even more junk to take with you.
Yep. Let's see. So, at the E3 of 2008, Miyamoto confirmed that Skyward Sword was not the only new Zelda game in development at the time, and that separate teams had gotten together to create both DS and Wii Zelda games. Spirit Tracks was produced alongside Skyward Sword by a separate team and released before the end of the following year. Once again, Spirit Tracks was a game that I did not have the opportunity to play, but apparently you're riding around on a magical train.
Sounds like the Polar Express.
Only better? At a round table at the E3 of 2009 convention, Shigeru Miyamoto disclosed that Skyward Sword would be announced at E3 in 2010. Artwork shown at the round table was leaked shortly after, depicting a swordless adult right-handed Link, as well as a mysterious female figure bearing the resemblance to both the Fairy Queen and the Master Sword. Miyamoto admitted that Skyward Sword's version of Link is older than those of the past titles, and placed an emphasis on Link's lack of a sword in the leaked artwork, particularly when questioned about the girl. The actual title of Skyward Sword was not revealed until 2010, before which it was known only as Zelda Wii. Go figure.
We would like to play Zelda.
Right. Let me jump to the top, and I'm going to switch again and go to characters. This would be who they were talking about, known only as Fee.
Are you sending me a link or something?
No, if you look at my screen.
Oh. Hang on.
Oh, wait, you can't.
Not exactly able to. Like, if you're watching this, go over to Lagging Out's podcast really quick, and you can see what he's talking about. I would have to. I wonder if you can set it up so I can switch to your screen capture instead of mine. Beep, beep. Oops. Let me know when you get it, and I'll switch over.
You know what I can do? Because I feel like that would be a little bit more effort than we want to really commit at the moment.
Okay.
I will drop the link right there.
Okay, and I will pick up the link. And whoa, why did that happen? I'm supposed to be looking at Wolfie, right?
Looking at what?
Go away, ads. I don't want you.
Oh, Fee. F-I.
This guy?
That's Demise. If you go to the next...
Why are you doing this? This one.
Yes. That is
full-size
Fee.
Is that coming through okay, gang? Yep.
That's actually a better look right there.
There we go. It's not perfect, but at least I got it. Pick up the link, yes, silly imp.
Funny. That's actually a blue girl, not a blue dude.
Okay, so a little context. Who is this again?
So this is Fee. That's the character that they were referenced in leaked images, and this fairy queen looking character, as they called her, is actually the spirit of the goddess sword. Blue meanies. Oh Lord. Which ending did they go with, or were you talking about Zelda?
Mojo, I think, was talking
Not sure
about
what
Zelda.
you're referencing. I'm sorry. Yet I can link a speedrun that completes the game in a few minutes. Yeah, that's sorry, that's a Zelda that's from Breath of the Wild. They actually had a speedrun that lasted about 11 minutes for the world record. That's what I was talking about, where they took Link from the starting zone, quickly got the opening collectibles, jumped off the plateau, and ran straight for the end game boss. Excuse me.
Okay, so
Fighting
yes.
off a bit of acid reflux, it feels like. Ouch.
All right, so let's go ahead and call it here. Tune in next Tuesday night for a finish up follow up on Skyward Sword, and then I'm on vacation the week following, so we will not have stream of consciousness for 1 week, possibly 2. It depends on how I'm feeling when I get back from vacation on the 5th. But anyways, shameless plug time, Hiro.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was reading what Mojo was saying. Look. And why did I enter twice? And then eek, that's the worst. Prayers for your esophagus. Yeah, it sucks. It's annoying. I think something to do with medication and having a smaller stomach nowadays. Anyways, uh-oh. When you stopped sharing your screen, it broke.
Yeah, I've accidentally did the wrong thing there. Oh well, it's not a big deal. We're wrapping up anyways. Oh, now you gotta get that back up though. Hang on. I'll just do.
Anyways,
I'll bring it back. Don't worry.
I'll just go ahead and
let's see history. Grab that. There we go. And then share screen. I'll get him back, guys. Don't worry. Share screen. Bloop. There we go. That should have you back.
There we go.
There we go. Cool.
Now I can bring you back. Anyways, yeah, so the shameless plugs. We got our stream on Friday. I think even not next week, but the week after next, we will still have our we're still planning on having our Lagging Out Live. Ah, that's right.
What Hiro said is factually correct, but I'm cutting him off from getting too carried away with something he should not be mentioning yet.
We're not gonna have to worry about yet. But we're still having our Lagging Out Live despite being on vacation. That being said, check out Wednesday night for Kaori, Foxy Kaori, after Mariner stream.
Well, this Friday mentioned, right? Lagging Out Live Friday night this week.
We will be doing Lagging Out Live every Friday night, basically. But yeah, we're still doing it. 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Don't ask me why I said it that way. And then Thursday nights, check out Mariner. Still playing Satisfactory.
Still playing Satisfactory. In fact, I'll be playing Satisfactory on my channel, Deep Dive Gaming, tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. And then again,
Mhm.
the following evening, 7:30 Eastern Time on the Lagging Out channel. So be sure to tune in. There should be a link in the chat here momentarily for Mojo.
That's
You may
right.
need to drop one on your side for the Twitch. I'm not sure. Well, she's a moderator on mine, and we got shared chat, so it should work. But you'll might want to drop a link on your YouTube chat and your Rumble chat if you've got it, because we don't have
I do
access
have
to
them all
those.
up. I just forgot that they were there.
Did you ever get Kick working, or are we still flying 3?
I still need to get logged back in on Kick over there.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
worry, I'll figure it out.
Probably nothing of value was lost, but
Apparently it's still doing great, but we don't ever get any traction over there.
yeah. So yes,
Check out lagginout.com for some spiffy articles. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
yeah, I'll look at it after the stream. Anyways, let's see what else is going on. See my stream, Black Hero stream, Carrie stream. I think. Oh, is that Ripperverse?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
Also,
wow. I want to say Shazam, but that's the wrong universe.
way wrong. Universe.
Okay, well, I think we shall end it here tonight, people. Thank you all for watching, hanging out with us in the chat. Please, if you're on YouTube, hit the like, hit subscribe if you're new to either Deep Dive Gaming or Lagging Out.
That's right.
If you're on Twitch, follow and or subscribe, depending on what your pocketbook allows you to do. And if you're on Rumble, please hit the follow as well. Until next time, enjoy Zelda. Fair winds and fun gaming. Over to you, Hiro, for your sign off.
Well, this was Hiro. We're signing off and lagging out.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.